Hello YouTube, this is Goody, and today's guide is going to be on 3 brilliant ways to make money, and all of these methods have low requirements, so if you're a low level or you have a low amount of money to get started with, then this is definitely the guide for you. The requirements for these methods are: for method 1 there are absolutely no requirements. For method 2 you need no more than 50k starting cash. For method 3 you need no more than 500k starting cash and 75 plus attack and strength. Method 1 is looting in the wilderness. Since the bot nuke day, the price of fish and potions has gone up an absolutely ridiculous amount. Currently on GE, rocktails are about 2.9k, sharks are about 1.7k, and the potions that people use for PKing vary between 2k to 15k. When someone gets a kill in the wilderness, they don't have time or the inventory space to loot all of this stuff, so they will just leave it on the ground and go for the high value items like the gear that the person was using. This means that in a loot pile you can have up to 100k just sat on the ground left for anyone to take. Looting is incredibly easy and is a very good way to make money. It has absolutely no requirements other than membership and the ability to make your way to Edgeville, and you can make between 600k and 1.2 mil an hour. When looting, you should make sure to stay in Edgeville and mostly hang around where the Darracas and Whitriskers are, which is just between the small mountain to the northwest of the Monetary and the rift in the wilderness. Mostly the people here will use rocktails instead of sharks and often bring a few more higher level potions, which means that the loot that's left behind will be a lot higher in value than anywhere else. Assuming you concentrate and see a fair few fights end, then I would guess that you would get anywhere between 600k and 1.2 mil an hour. When I was doing this, I didn't get under 600k at all, and I definitely made over 1.2 mil an hour in a couple of lucky situations where people weren't able to get their loot. Method number 2 is farming easy level clue scrolls. I've made a guide on this in the past, but I'm going to be remaking it now with commentary. The guide I made only got about 10k views, and I really feel it deserves more attention than that. This is definitely one of my favourite money makers, and it can be done by almost anyone. The main goal of farming the easy clues is to get the high value god pages. They're fairly common and they value up to 7.2 mil. The fact that these pages are fairly common and very high in value means that if you can get enough clues done, then you can get a lot of money per hour, and generally I would put this method at 1 mil an hour plus, as you can get quite a lot of god pages if you do them fast enough. The suggestions I would make for this guide are: house teleports and portals in your portal room, a mounted glory, 15 plus thieving, the higher your thieving level the better, and 60 plus free bank spaces that you are willing to use. Easy clues will give you one of 4 types of challenges: simple clues, emote clues, maps, and cryptics. If you do ever get stuck on any of these, you should refer to one of the fan sites that have solutions for every single clue. I'll make sure to leave links in the description. They're all really detailed, and they make clue scrolls incredibly easy if you do use them. Out of these 4 types of clues, emote clues are definitely the most time consuming, as they require a certain type of item to be worn to be solved. Back when I originally made this guide, I compiled a list of every single emote clue item, and I'll leave a link to that in the description. As it's been so long since I did make this guide, there might have been items or emote clues released since then, so please, if you do find any that aren't listed on there, make sure to leave a comment and I'll update the list. I would definitely suggest buying every single item on that list before you even begin doing these easy clues. It will save you so much time in the future, as you won't have to be going back to the Grand Exchange every few minutes. Before you start farming clues, you should definitely have the correct sort of inventory. The sort of inventory shown on screen now works well, as it allows you to get to pretty much anywhere in RuneScape with ease. You should equip a charged ring of wealth, as not only does it give you better clue rewards when you do open the caskets, it also gives you some useful teleport options. Getting the clues to begin with is the most time consuming part of this method. However, it is also very simple, and the 2 methods I would suggest are pickpocketing female hand members. This requires 15 thieving, and not only does it require a lower level than the male hand members, it also gives you better odds of receiving a clue scroll. As you can see on screen now, there is a little map showing you how to get there from Lumbridge and Draenor. All you do is go there and pick the lock on the trapdoor. Once you're down in the ham area, you should head to the east. There's a small little section off to the side, and in there is one female ham member that never leaves that area, so you can constantly pickpocket this female ham member without them moving around. It makes it a lot easier and a lot less tedious to be pickpocketing. If you don't have the requirements or you don't want to pickpocket ham members, you can also just kill the men and goblins in Lumbridge and Edgeville. Completing the clues is actually incredibly easy. If you use one of the fan sites listed in the descriptions, then you'll be able to do it in a matter of minutes every time. On average, it takes me about 3 to 4 minutes to get a clue from a hand member, and the clues to complete actually only takes me about 4 to 5 minutes. So that gives you an average of around 5 to 9 clues completed per hour, which is very good. I'm not going to give the odds of getting a Zammy page. I did that in my last guide and I realised how inaccurate the estimate I actually gave was, so I'm not going to do that again. However, I would say that this method, if you do it consistently, is no less than 1 mil per hour. Method 3 is killing green dragon bots. This method is definitely one of my favourite money makers in the game, and it's incredibly simple. All you have to do is run to the Thrinn dungeon and then with some basic PKing gear kill the bots. I won't go into much detail at all on this method as there really isn't much detail needed. All you need is some basic PKing gear, some pots, and then you just kill the bots. So yeah, you make your way to the Thrinn dungeon as you can see on screen now, and then you run just to the east and there are countless bots still, and yeah, it's as simple as just specking them out, killing them, and then you fill up your inventory with the bones and hides they drop, and that's it. It's that simple. Most people don't actually do this, which shocks me because it is better money than killing green dragons. In this clip you see me doing an inventory and it took me absolutely no time at all. It took me about 3 minutes 30 seconds to get 109k, and if we round it down a bit and call it 5 minutes per 100k, then that's 1.2 mil an hour. And my estimate would be that you get a minimum of 800k if you're hopping between the worlds to make sure that you're getting fresh bots with full inventories. And yeah, it's incredibly enjoyable and definitely a brilliant moneymaker. If you have a yak, you wouldn't even need to bank that often. However, your inventory does fill up very quickly because you're getting so many bones. But yeah, this is definitely one of my favourite money makers in the game. Sorry about not going into much detail on it, but I just don't think that there's a huge amount of detail necessary. And that's it for this guide. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If it helps you out, please make sure to leave a like and also leave any comments for other tips for people watching it. So if you've got any ways to boost the money per hour of these methods, or you've got any tips to just make it easier, make sure to leave them below and help everyone out. And yeah, thanks for watching.